So my name is Dervla. My background is as a speech language therapist and I'm from Dublin. I'm a learning support service manager at the Ministry of Ed now. I definitely, I would say that I found the landing kind of soft. Like I think when it's a long way to come, but very supportive environment to come to from Ireland. I mean, my team were immediately like, they knew I was here and my family weren't here, and so sort of wrapped around me, and it just felt like I was coming into sort of a little family. I know, I was pretty lucky when I arrived with that, but it was a nice environment to come to, yeah. I find the work here, I think immediately when I arrived, quite a different level of pressure. I mean, obviously it's at times a demanding job and we have an important role in supporting children and families, but the work is very connected and makes a lot of sense for families. We have very strong practice principles which we can actually use really well in our work, really strongly family-centred, and I don't feel like I'm battling systems or processes. I feel like it makes sense for families, and so I'm not stressed about coming to work. I feel happy when I'm coming to work. The work feels rewarding and like I'm making a difference. I've worked with some really incredible people here. I feel like I've been super lucky. I've done a range of different jobs and people from lots of different backgrounds who bring different experiences and different training, and obviously different sort of specialisms working in a kind of a multidisciplinary team. I find that there's opportunities for innovation in the way that we work, so there's scope to kind of think about if there's a problem or a situation, how we might approach that, and there's a certain level of, I guess, critical thinking and freedom to employ something and problem solve around that. So I think people therefore encouraged to bring new ideas and thinking about how they might do something a bit differently, and that's sort of supported. When I was working as a speech therapist, there was a sort of a Kaupapa Māori team that I worked as part of in an area that was predominantly Māori and Pacific in South Auckland, and I just learned so much from my colleagues, and I was really well supported. I wasn't put into a situation that I didn't feel comfortable being in, or wasn't kind of that I was still learning how to be part of. And even now working in Kohanga and Kura, we have really good strategic advisor Māori. We work closely with our curriculum advisors. Like we're quite connected in that space and drawing on the knowledge and capacity within our organisation to make sure that we're providing those services in the right way. We make mistakes, and I think we're continuing to kind of look at how we can do that better. I love living and working in New Zealand for lots of reasons. I do really love the job. I find the job very rewarding, and the people and the work that we do, I find rewarding. And so I guess there's a sense of sort of maybe a bit more freedom. And when you come to work, there's an acknowledgement that you have life outside work, and that's just as important. I definitely found I probably hadn't been aware of the natural beauty of the country, that how awe-inspiring it can be, and what's interesting is I talk to Kiwis, I've probably seen more of the country than some of them have, but just doing the great walks, and I love trail running and just seeing some places, and you can be somewhere and you can think like there's not a house or a person around for like miles and miles. So I hadn't realised, I suppose, that was there, and it sort of feels like it's on your doorstep. What advice would I give to someone thinking about coming? I would say if you're looking for an adventure and to explore a really beautiful part of the world, and you have you're working in a role as a speech therapist or a psychologist, the work you'll be able to do the work, and it feels like a really long way to come, but it's a soft landing and it's very well supported.